Hello and welcome back to another Breaker video, where today I am starting on the runway with loads of rocket parts. My objective today is to launch 3 rockets with tourists on board suborbital. So I'm just selecting the rocket parts. These are the parts to build 2 rockets, because I tried having the parts to have 3 rockets, but that was too many parts. You saw me have a big pause there. I was watching a YouTube video at the time, so you may notice a few pauses in the video where I look at the YouTube video. So there I am, selecting the parts that I need to build 1 rocket, getting the fins on board, and that is the parts I need for 1 rocket. And I'm just getting all the Kerbals on board, but they don't fit very well. Now you'll notice Heidi Kerman falls off a lot of times in this video. She fell off the truck so many times that I got really angry at her and I fired her. So there I am, getting the rocket parts off of the truck. I was about to place a solid rocket booster on top of their heads. There we go, the solid rocket booster is placed. Then I place the second stage engine. Then I add the fins. Then I attach the capsule to the second stage. And the Probododine Stay Putnik being attached to the capsule, because the rockets only have a capability to launch 1 Kerbal at a time. So there is Heidi Kerman riding on the back of the truck, and that is the first time she fell off. So that is 1 on the Heidi Kerman fell off counter. Jeb fell off, so that's 1 on the Jeb fell off counter. Jeb fell off a few times as well. So here is the rocket on the launch pad. So there I am correcting the staging, because the staging always starts really wrong. There I notice the electric charge is quite low. Then I go back to correcting the staging. And this rocket is ready to launch. I think it's launching in like 10 seconds from now, because I usually do a countdown of 10 seconds when launching rockets. There we go. There's liftoff. Liftoff of the first tourist rocket. Turning off hibernation so I can actually control the rocket. And you'll see on the second stage I have a real hard time controlling it without SAS. You can see I nearly flipped it there. And there's stage burnout. And The first of the 3 tourists is now on his way to space. Coming back down again into the atmosphere. Re-entry. Parachute deployed. And there's the first tourist coming down for a safe landing in the water. Then I go back to the truck to get the next lot of rocket parts to build the second rocket. And Heidi Kerman falls off so many times. There we go, 2 on the Heidi fell off counter. 3 on the Heidi fell off counter. 2 on the Jeb fell off counter. 4, oh no, not quite. 4 on the Heidi fell off counter and 3 on the Jeb fell off counter. 5 on the Heidi fell off counter, 4 on the Jeb fell off counter. At this point I was getting quite annoyed at the Kerbals because they kept falling off. So here I am driving the truck over to the next lot of rocket parts. So I will place them on the truck. At this point I was quite angry at Heidi Kerman. To be honest, I should have been angry at Jeb as well for falling off just as many times. Though half the time it was Heidi causing him to fall off. So there I am getting the rest of the rocket parts on board. I don't know why I needed to move that battery over. Now I am getting the fins on. Heidi Kerman will stand on the side and the other 3 will hang on the side of the ladder. And Heidi fell off again. And at this point I was mad. I recovered Heidi Kerman. Then I went into the astronaut complex and I fired her, as she is not up to the task of being an EVA construction astronaut. But you may have noticed I was checking the other Kerbals just then to see if there were any other good Kerbals I could get. So Jeb, Bill and Bob hang on to the side as Val drives over to the launch pad with the next tourist Subret Kerman, who is a little bit of a scaredy cat. So there's the next rocket being constructed. Now this rocket, I struggled way more building this rocket than I'd like to admit to, because I kind of built things in the wrong order. You can see I put the stages on top, but that then made the rocket too tall to get the capsule on top. Because the order I'm supposed to do it in is put the solid rocket booster down, then put the second stage engine on top of the booster, then have the tanks for the second stage on the ground and place the capsule on top of those, and then put the whole assembly with the tanks and the capsule on top of the second stage engine. But you can see I assembled the second stage first on top of the first stage, and that led to a lot of trouble getting it on. So then I had to take the rocket down again to get the second stage loaded, but then it was too heavy because I included the second stage engine. Then I took off the Stay Putnik to try making it lighter, and it rolled away. Then I took off the engine, and then finally I managed to attach the Stay Putnik and then place it on top, finishing the rocket. That took way longer than I'd like to admit to, especially after building one of those rockets like 10 minutes before. So the original foregoing watch the rocket, and here is liftoff. Subret Kerman is very scared. You can see, as in, she paid money to fly on this rocket as a tourist, and she's just screaming like it's the worst ride ever. There we go, stage separation. You can see I'm having a real hard time controlling that stage. Not anymore. You can see it gets a bit wobbly there. Not as wobbly as a KSP2 rocket. Wobbly because of aerodynamic forces trying to make it flip around. As in, having SAS would make it a lot easier to fly, but I was flying with a Stay Putnik probe that doesn't have SAS. There's stage burnout. And Subret Kerman is the second of the 3 tourists to be flying to space. Down there where the mouse cursor is the ZPA base, where the yearly ZPA Kerbal event happens. Though that is unrelated to the EVA career, so I will not be talking any more about that. Subret Kerman is the second of the 3 tourists in space. There I am time warping to bring her back down. Finally, Subret Kerman has a smile. rockets coming back down for re-entry. Parachute deployed. Parachute fully deployed. But yeah, I guess as I'm landing now, it's gonna take a bit of a while. I could talk about the ZPA event. If you don't know what the ZPA event is, it's something that I do on a yearly basis where I have a bunch of Kerbal torture devices set up, and all the Kerbals are put, 16 Kerbals are put in those torture devices, and because none of them are perfect, a lot of the Kerbals end up falling out. There is the next rocket ready to be built. But yeah, back onto the ZPA. The Kerbals occasionally fall out, so the idea is that with the ZPA, the last Kerbal remaining in the torture device wins that round. The Kerbal vote that I did for a couple of months on the train spotting channel was actually to vote for the Kerbals who would be going in the ZPA event, and hopefully I'd be able to do the ZPA event with a voiceover as well. So here I am assembling the rocket on the launch pad. I placed the parts of the rocket too far away, so I'm having to push them all over to the launch pad. And then the battery and the parachute. This one I assemble in the right order, and it took a lot quicker to build. So there I assemble the second stage tanks with the capsule on top. You can see I'm assembling the capsule, placing the capsule on the second stage tanks, placing the second stage engine on the first stage, and the fins on, which is the correct order to construct it. And it was a lot quicker to build doing it in the correct order. There's the battery and the parachute. And then all four Kerbals come up onto the truss there to lift up the second stage and capsule on top of the first stage, and the rocket is complete and ready for launch. There we go. And the Kerbals are getting off to watch this launch. Then I have to look at the staging because, like always, that's completely messed up. And I should launch in just a few seconds. liftoff. This Kerbal, this tourist has the Jebediah trait, so he's smiling. You can see the rocket picks up a natural rotation because of only having 3 fins. The reason why the first rocket had 4 fins and these other 2 rockets had 3 fins. Oh, there I lost control. I did say that that upper stage is not easy to control without SAS. But yeah. Forgot what I was talking about now. So, Lodgel Kerm, I think is his name. Lodgel or something like that. I can't really see. Is the third of the 3 tourists in space. Ah yeah, I was talking about the fins. But anyway, we've reached the end of the video. Remember to dislike and unsubscribe if you didn't enjoy the video. And maybe watch the next one.